العلم أشراف مطلوب وطالبه لله أكرام من يمشي على قدمه. العلم نور مبين يستضيء به أهل السعادات والجهال في الظلم.
The Shaykh says رحمه الله فالاسم ما دل على معنى في نفسه من غير إشعار بزمن. طيب وهو ثلاثة أنواع. It is of three types. It is of three types. From what angle? باعتبار ماذا? It is of three types. Who's read the matan beforehand? Who read the matan beforehand? Not in class, like at home. No one read the matan, huh? You didn't think we were going to get up to here, but it was 2 lines that we studied before that. يعني no one. أليس منكم رجل رشيد? Huh? Dear students, you're making it harder for yourselves. Because if you were to read beforehand, by the way, it's translated as well. Just in case you don't understand it, it's translated. The book has been translated. If you look around, inshallah, you'll find the translation. Contact Medina College, they had some translations for the book. Like, it's important that you look beforehand. The Shaykh is now going to talk about the name in terms of what it points towards. Is it general or is it specific? Because there are many ways that we can look at the name. اعتبارات. مثلا إعراب. Is it mu'rab or mabni? That is another way of looking at names. Like, and that is not what we're going to be talking about now, or that's not what the Shaykh is talking about. So he says, فَالْإِسْمُ يعني it is of 3 types. That ism is of 3 types. مَا يُفِيدُ الْعُمُومِ كَالْأَسْمَاءِ الْمَوْصُولَةِ. Names that show generality. And he mentions الَّذِينَ. For example, وَالْعَصْرِ إِلَى الْإِنسَانِ لَفِي خُسْرٍ إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. So الَّذِينَ refers to all of the people that will come after الَّذِينَ, the word. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. It includes all of them. So al-asma'ul mawsula, they prove or they show al-umum. They show generality. Another example, he says man, يعني man غشنا فليس منا. Man غشنا, that is ism shad. Man غشنا, whomsoever cheats us. Man, whomsoever, that person could be anyone. It could be a male, female, young, old, Muslim, non-Muslim. That person that cheats us, man غشنا فليس منا, then he is not from us. So from the names, there are those that show that something is general. طيب. الثاني, the second type of names, ما يفيد الإطلاق كالنكرة في سياق الإثبات. ما يفيد الإطلاق, that which shows something is unrestricted. For example, he says كالنكرة, like the nakira في سياق الإثبات, when you're affirming something in an affirmative sentence. And that's what Ismail was referring to when he said what? The first one being nakira. Remember the first example, he said what? Akrim taliban. Honor a student. Honor a student. Did we say it's general or specific? Or afwan, general or unrestricted, mutlaq? Mutlaq. Meaning any student that he picks and he honors him, that's enough. He's done what was wajib upon him and what I've commanded him to do. Right. So from the names, there are those that we benefit from, that they are unrestricted. Again, we're not going to dwell too much into it because am, khas, mutlaq, muqayyad, that's to come, inshallah. الثالث ما يفيد الخصوص كالأعلام. And ثالث, those things that, there are those names that show specificness, خصوص. مثلا ضربت زيدا, I hit Zayd, that's a specific person. Or I say ضربت هذا, I hit that. هذا is used for a person. I know that in English, I can't say that is there, and that referring to a person. In English, you really can't use that. Like in Arabic, you can say ضربت هذا, أو أحب هذا, أو أكره هذا. I love this one, or I hate this one, and so on. هذا. So that is ما يفيد الخصوص, that which shows something is specific. So these are the three types of names. In general, a name can show something which is general or unrestricted. Is that understood? طيب. القسم الثاني, the Shaykh says, الفعل. القسم الثاني, باء الفعل. And the fi'l is the next type of what? Kalima. The next type of kalima is الفعل. And the fi'l is ما دل على معنى في نفسه. ما دل على معنى في نفسه. That which shows a معنى on its own. في نفسه. وأشعر, for example, دخل. It has a meaning of دخول, of entering. وأشعر بهيئته بأحد الأزمنة الثلاثة. And also when you look at it and when you hear it, you can tell that it points towards a time frame. A time frame. When the action took place. Not only does it point towards an action, not only does it have a meaning of itself, like it also has, and it shows when the action took place. The Shaykh says, وَهُوَ إِمَّا مَاضٍ, it is either madi in the past. كَفَهِمَ, for example, فَهِمَ, he understood the lesson. فَهِمْتُ الدَّرْسَ, I understood the lesson. So, or دَخَلْتُ الْمَسْجِدِ, I entered the masjid. That fi'l, it shows that I entered, and it shows that I what? Entered when? Now or before? لا, دخلت, entered. فَهِمْتُ الدَّرْسَ, فَهِمْتُ, I understood. That shows that the fi'l has a meaning of its own. فَهِمْتُ الدَّرْسَ, like it also shows what? I understood it in the madi. أو مضارع, or a fi'l can be مضارع. كَيَفْهَمُ, يَفْهَمُ, he understands. Meaning right now, he's understanding. أو أمر, أو أمر. طيب إما ماض أو مضارع وهو إما ماض أو مضارع أو أمر أو أمر كفهم افهم الدرس يا ولد افهم الدرس, understand the lesson. That is what? A command. That is called a fi'l amr. Understand the lesson. No, past, present. So when he says بأحد الأزمنة الثلاثة, with the three time frames, then it is ماضي, which is something that has taken place. مضارع. So فهم, he already understood the lesson. فهم يفهم, يعني مثلا you're saying now أفهم الدرس يا أستاذ أفهم الدرس ولله الحمد. يا أستاذ, I understand the lesson. Or I say to you as the students, افهم الدرس, understand the class. That when I'm commanding you, is it something that I'm expecting you to do already, that you've already done? Like it's something that I'm asking you to do now. طيب. نعم. دل على معنى بهيئة ثلاثة وهو ثلاثة أقسام. طيب. And that is كثير in the Quran. That is كثير in the Quran and the Sunnah. Then the Shaykh says رحمه الله, والفعل بأقسامه يفيد الإطلاق فلا عموم له. And the fi'l in all of its types, whether it's madi, mudari' or amr, it shows itlaq, يعني unrestricted, an unrestricted meaning. لا عموم له, it doesn't have generality. It doesn't have generality. طيب. مثلا Allah Jalla wa Ala says, فاعتزلوا النساء في المحيض. فاعتزلوا النساء في المحيض. What is the meaning? What is the meaning? فاعتزلوا, يعني abstain from النساء في المحيض. صح? That would mean what? إطلاق, يعني دائما stay away from them regardless. So if I was to say قال الله تعالى فاعتزلوا النساء, Allah says stay away from the women in their haid, and I say طيب, I'm not going to come home because Allah says فاعتزلوا النساء, stay away from them. Is that correct? لا, فاعتزلوا النساء في المحيض. Just on that verse, regarding leaving any other evidences. I'm not going to go near the women. فاعتزلوا النساء. If a person says, not me, like if a person says فاعتزلوا النساء في المحيض. and he says, I'm not going to go near any woman, my wife, yani. A person says, I'm not going to go near my wife during Hayd. Is this correct? Just by that itself. صح؟ طيب. So, a person, مثلا, foreplay, a person can't do that in Hayd, based on this verse. On this verse, just on this verse, a person can't do it, صح? Where have we understood that from? The verse, فَاعْتَزِلُوا النِّسَاء. It is mutlaq, do not go near them, and unrestricted. Lakin, there are other ahadith from the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam restricting this. And it is only referring to al-jima'. It is only referring to jima'. It is only referring to jima'. So see how the fi'l is mutlaq, lakin there are other evidences from the Quran and the Sunnah that restrict this verse, or the abstaining. طيب. والحرف. طيب. We'll stop on that note, inshallah. والحرف. الجيم or Jim, we'll carry on inshallah next week. نعم. We'll carry on next week. Lakin, students, it's extremely important that you read the lesson beforehand. We can take just a couple of questions that you need to pray as well, yeah? Any questions? It's maybe one each, I think. One each, طيب, okay. Any questions? طيب, the fact that there are no questions or there's only one question is one of two. Either you've understood everything, mashallah, or you haven't understood anything, so you can't even ask a question because you haven't understood anything. It's Abu Aisha. Go on. والفعل بأقسامه إطلاق. إطلاق in general, نعم. إطلاق unrestricted. So لا تقرب الزنا مثلا. That shows that we can't go near it in general, regardless of any move, whether it's watching, listening, the actual فواحش والعياذ بالله. Anyway, it is unrestricted, we can't go near it. That's the meaning behind mutlaq, itlaq. طيب. So this question regarding babu riba, and I want you to answer inshallah. If the debt includes, meaning the contract, if it includes a condition that if not paid on time, you will have to pay interest. You'll have to pay interest. What's the ruling on that transaction? Who says it is haram? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. طيب, جمهور الفقهاء. Who says it is permissible? صح, it is haram. Why is it haram? From the sisters, someone tell me why it's haram. For those that said it is not permissible, why is it not permissible? There's a condition of interest. If it is not paid on time. So you're agreeing to the condition, and that is munkar. That is munkar that you're agreeing to. So that is why it becomes haram. Now, also the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Al-Muslimuna ala shurudihim jazakallahu khayran." The Muslims are on their shurud, except for shurud halala haraman or harrama halalan. Except for shurud, conditions that make haram that which is halal, or make halal that which is haram. طيب, والله تعالى أعلم بأحد. طيب, the fact that there are no questions or there's only one question is one of two. Either you've understood everything, mashallah, or you haven't understood anything, so you can't even ask a question because you haven't understood anything. It's Abu Aisha. Go on. والفعل بأقسامه الإطلاق. إطلاق in general نعم إطلاق unrestricted. So لا تقربوا الزنا مثلا. That shows that we can't go near it in general, regardless of any move, whether it's watching, listening, the actual فواحش والعياذ بالله. Anyway, it is unrestricted, we can't go near it. That's the meaning behind mutlaq, itlaq. طيب. So this question regarding bab riba, and I want you to answer inshallah. If the debt includes, meaning the contract, if it includes a condition that if not paid on time, you will have to pay interest. You'll have to pay interest. What's the ruling on that transaction? Who says it is haram? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. طيب جمهور الفقهاء. Who says it is permissible? صح, it is haram. Why is it haram? From the sisters, someone tell me why it's haram. For those that said it is not permissible, why is it not permissible? There's a condition of interest. If it is not paid on time. So you're agreeing to the condition, and that is munkar. That is munkar that you're agreeing to. So that is why it becomes haram. Now, also the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Al-Muslimun except for shurud halala haraman or harama halalan, except for shurud, conditions that make haram that which is halal or make halal that which is haram." طيب والله تعالى أعلم وأحكم وبالله